Another day, another dollar, or as I like to say, another day, another dollar wasted. Hey, it's Matt Platt, but I want to talk about what's wrong with most businesses' marketing. And it comes down to one thing. You're paying somebody else for the rights to talk to their audience over and over and over. I could keep going over and over again. So I want to talk to you today about what I see as a major issue with marketing, and that is the fact that you're not creating your own radio station. In both of my books, there's a chapter called Create Your Own Radio Station. I actually wrote a book called Create Your Own Radio Station, and my publisher said, Matt, scrap it. Nobody knows what the heck you're talking about. Become famous first, then publish that. But today, I'm going to give you a sneak peek into what I think is one of the issues. And we're going to walk through a simple 3-slide presentation, and I'm going to give you the lowdown on what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and dive into it. So number one, most businesses' marketing strategy looks just like this. You've got your advertising dollars and your efforts, and you've got a direct line to sales. And that's how we're all taught to market. We're all taught to run a radio commercial when you need to sell cars. Listen to the radio stations. End of the month, every month, the last week of the month, the radio stations are typically flooded with car dealer commercials because they're trying to hit their nut and they're running ads. Come buy a car, come buy a car, come buy a car. Now, if you have a big enough ad budget, you can more than likely afford to do a lot of different mass media and market just to drive sales. But if you're like most businesses I deal with, most restaurants, your dollars are precious. And if your dollars are precious, then you need to take advantage of those dollars. So let's talk about 3 items. First thing I'm going to show you here is what you traditionally get with marketing. You're renting an audience. Ask yourself, that radio station, that TV station, the billboard, the direct mail company, the newspaper, if I guess maybe people still do newspaper, I don't know. What are you doing? You're giving them money for the opportunity to talk to an audience they've already cultivated. And you're traditionally using that audience to drive sales. You're telling them to go to a page and buy something. You're telling them to come to your restaurant and eat food. That's all you're doing. And so what happens is every month when you want the same effect of the advertising, you have to go back to square one because let's face it, all marketing works. If the marketing's not working, it's because number one, you're not spending enough. You're being outspent by competitors. Number two, you have the wrong audience. Or number three, you have the wrong call to action. But let's just say you're a cheeseburger restaurant and you're advertising on a radio station that appeals to 25 to 35-year-olds. And you say, hey, I want you to come in for the world's greatest cheeseburger, blah, blah, blah. Pretty simple. The problem is all you're doing is renting the audience and then renting the effort. Because if next month you want to get that same customer that came in, you've got to go back to that station. And you're constantly spending money on somebody else's platform to drive your sales. Even Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Google. A lot of businesses are doing the exact same thing there, which drives me crazy because when somebody's on a computer, it's the easiest to take them to what I'm going to show you next. And so the concept of the next part is what I ask a question. What if you owned the radio station, the TV station? What if you owned the newspaper? What if you owned Facebook? Wouldn't that be cool? Well, then you've got your own audience. It costs you no money to have a conversation with them. You can say, hey, Matt Platt, come eat food. Come to my restaurant, come get a beer, come get a root beer, come get a cake, come get ice cream, whatever. If you owned the media, you could do that whenever you want. Now, granted, you wouldn't want to abuse it because you would just wear your audience out. You want to have a conversation with them that resonates the most. It's kind of like WLW locally. It's a radio station. I'll never forget when Daryl Parks was the program director there. He had a cutout of a human, of a man on his wall, and he had all these stats on there. And he would tell the personalities like Bill Cunningham and gosh, my mind went blank there. Jim Scott, Mike McConnell and say, hey, this is who you're talking to today. And so if you have a conversation that resonates with this person, they're going to resonate with our media, they're going to stay around. Well, same with you. If you own your own marketing funnel, if you owned your own radio station, I call it, your own audience, and you segmented it and you had certain conversations with certain people, you can consistently drive sales better. And so this is where what I like to talk about with the concept of create your own radio station comes in, is that if you look at what traditionally happens, it's the bottom line down there. You spend your money, like we talked about in the first slide, to drive sales. You go to Facebook, you go to Instagram, you go to YouTube, you go to Google, you go to a radio station, TV station, newspaper, direct mail company. I mean, man, there's a lot of restaurants spending money with direct mail companies, and it just pains me because none of these direct mail companies have a good digital strategy at all, and they very well could. And then all they're doing every month is giving the same customers the same coupon. Well, we're actually meeting with a brand next week that on a weekly basis, let's say not weekly, monthly basis, I get 5 to 6 of their coupons through 5 to 6 different direct mail companies at my house in Union, Kentucky every month. Almost all the identical message, identical offer, and they send it to me every month. So they're paying this direct mail company for the rights to reach Matt Plapp. And then every month they just pound me. Now somebody might say, well, it's going to effectively get you there. It's going to be the frequency. Well, or you're spending money to give me your profits. What if you flip the script? What if you did a few things? What if, number one, you spent your time and money and efforts to go the top route, the orange arrow, to build a database? What if you spent that time and money to get people from a marketing platform into your own platform? And what I mean by that is getting them to give you an email, a cell phone, a birthday, being able to have their attention on retargeting online. I just got done meeting with the company that I hire that does a lot of my marketing, that does my Google, so my Google ads. And we were looking at the people that we can retarget, and a number of people, the thousands of people last month, the last 30 days that have engaged in our marketing. And we can see that they saw the content. We can see how long they spent on the content. We can see that they clicked. We can see how much time they spent on the page they went to. And we can retarget them on multiple platforms based on their usage. So therefore, when I'm spending my money, I'm spending it, number one, to build traffic to a place. 2, when they get to that source, I'm getting their information. And then 3, when I want to go back to them down the road, I don't have to go back to the original source a lot of times. I can go back to my own platform and send a text message to them, to send an email to them, to retarget them on Facebook, Instagram, or Google. And so that's the question I have for you in the last slide is, what if you owned it? And you can. Because if you use, like I mentioned earlier, that direct mail piece, and use that direct mail piece budget to drive traffic into a funnel, then you can get people's information. But here's a better strategy. Because the negative to me with direct mail, radio, and TV is the fact that you can't include and exclude people based on their usage. That coupon that I get every month in direct mail 5 to 6 times a month, and I'm not exaggerating, I get it 5 to 6 times a month because they buy every direct mail piece that hits me in Union, Kentucky. What if they had the ability to say, hey, last month we got Matt's email and phone number. Let's not send him the direct mail piece this month. Let's spend that money to acquire somebody new and put them into the center. Well, you can't do it with direct mail, but you can with digital marketing. And what I'm talking about is, let's say you buy a Facebook ad. So on the left, you're renting Facebook's audience, but versus renting their audience and driving them down the bottom line to spend money at the restaurant, what if you spend money to get them to go into Messenger, to go to a landing page, to go somewhere with very little friction to give you their information? And then at that point, you deliver to them the promised promotion. Because in your ad, traditionally, you say, hey, buy one, get one free burgers next week. Click here, bring this and show the restaurant. Click here to get our coupon. Click here to print it off. I actually got one the other day that was on my cell phone to print the coupon off. I'll challenge many businesses. You show me how many people on their phone have a printer. Now, some do. I've got buddies of mine that can do it. They got the fancy stuff. They can AirDrop or whatever that's called. They can print from their iPhone in their office, their house. Ain't many people doing that. And all they're doing is propping up their sales with that ad. What if you drove those people to a landing page, or like we use Facebook Messenger to get their information and then deliver that marketing message, deliver that buy one, get one free burger, deliver that free dessert. Now you just did both things. So the ad got attention. Our ads are going to get a heck of a lot more engagement because we get them to take action versus just show their phone. So we get a better ad, a better optimization. We then get their attention and get them into, in our case, Messenger, and get them to opt in with email, birthday, and cell phone. And so now we then drive that promotion you might have put on your ad there. Well, next month, we don't have to spend that money to acquire that person again. We have eliminated, essentially ripped the coupon out of the page of their direct mail piece. I once said that to a direct mail rep. I said, what if, it was a company called Reach Magazine in Cincinnati. I said, what if instead of, we have 800 clients that redeem this coupon from Quaker Steak and Lube on a monthly basis. Can next month we rip the coupon out of the magazine that their house gets? Because we don't need them to get the coupon. We want them maybe to see a branding ad versus a coupon because they used the coupon last month. Or we want them to see something different. She's like, well, no, you can't do that. I'm like, well, you can digitally. I can, one, exclude the people that opted in last month. Two, I can include the people that opted in last month in a retargeting ad about where they're at in the funnel, in the funnel meaning what offer they've used or haven't used. And then three, I can spend my money next month or this month to reach new people. And so every month, if I'm spending $500 on Facebook ads to just drive sales, I'm spending $500 every month to reach new people because I've already got the people from last month. And I'm able to retarget them through some really inexpensive retargeting ads, but also through text and email and Messenger. So that's the concept. That's what I encourage businesses to do, is to get active in making an impact with your marketing through not driving sales, but through driving people into a database. Because now you can flip the script. Now, as I said, instead of renting somebody's audience every month over and over and over and giving them the same stuff over and over and over, you now can flip the script and say, hey, Facebook, I'm only going to use you to acquire people on the front end and then to nurture the people a little along the way, because I've got email and text I can hit them with as well. And I can get new people every month. And so if you take that, let's say $500, for example, you can traditionally in the restaurant business, in that space, get opt-ins for around $1 pretty simply. So if you get 500 opt-ins a month over the course of 12 months, you've now got 6,000 people in a database. Well, come 12 months from now, you're not in the need to reach those 6,000 people again through Facebook on opting in. You've already got it. You now are in the need to get them into the restaurant other ways through your email and text. And you're now able to just consistently always go after new people and retarget your current people. And like my dad says here, own your own radio station. Own your radio station. So that's all I got today. Quick one. I'm going to be back on tomorrow. I don't have the time yet. I've got a couple meetings I'm trying to firm up, but I'll be back on tomorrow. I've got 5 videos I'm doing kind of in this series. Yesterday was the 3 ways: new customers, repeat customers, increase average check size. Today is build your own radio station, spend to build. Tomorrow's video, you'll find out later on. I'll see you later.